Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. We are doing another read along, and today, if you've clicked on the thumbnail, you kind of got the hint. It's Bakuman. So, very happy to dive into this one. I actually brought out the box set right here. But today, I got with me Kerry from Nerdy Girl Creates. Kerry,
What's
introduce
up,
yourself.
everyone? How is everybody? It's Kerry, aka Nerdy Girl Crates. I do reviews on manga and indie comics, and I host the live stream for Otaku Tuesdays every Tuesday night, 8:30. Bo is one of our panelists, so come check us out on that. And I'm very excited to read this because I'm a fan of the writer, and I have been collecting this and been wanting to reread it for a while now, but it's been so long since it first did.
Oh yeah, I looked up the story and the art. I mean, the artist and the writer. They're both the same ones from Death Note. I was like, oh, I
Yes,
thought
they
it'd be
are.
one or the other. No, they're a pair. So
And it's
I mean,
kind of really different story than what you would expect from them.
yeah, I heard this one is about writing manga, so that's interesting. Never,
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, they even reference Shonen Jump and also.
yeah, I think that was. I peeked at the first couple pages, and yeah, that's kind of what they were mentioning. Now, this first chapter is a big boy. It's 60 pages. So, just timing myself on how fast I could read the first couple pages, gave myself about 25 to 30 seconds. So, rough. This first chapter should be about 18 minutes. Every other chapter after that significantly smaller, so it should be 7 minutes. Um,
Okay.
so, if you're new to this, or if you're watching the restream, what we do is we put a timer up, and I'll show you this timer right here. We'll put this timer up and go for about however long we got on there, read it, and then we'll come back and discuss what we've read each chapter. And feel free to comment any questions or anything like that. And again, if you're watching it on the restream, please hit that like if you like what we're doing. Hit subscribe if you want to see more. Carrie, you got any other thoughts on this before we look at the box set?
I am really interested because this is just kind of like a story about two guys who want to break into the manga industry. And that's pretty much what the whole thing is, them trying to get into it. There's like not really like it's not like a part of the plot. It is the plot, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to see like what they go through to try to like succeed.
Yeah, definitely. I think the creator of Chainsaw Man, he actually has one called Look Back, and that
Hmm.
kind of the same thing about becoming a mangaka, and really great story. So kind of looking forward to this. But if you're considering the box set now, I got mine when it was like 140. I should have waited longer because now on Amazon it's like 110.
Yes.
Not a bad time to buy, and this one was out for a while. Let's see, not too many volumes, 20 volumes in all.
Yes.
Okay, not sure what you can see, but very beautiful box set. But all right, if you are ready, I am ready.
I'm ready.
Cool. So I'll set up this in case somebody pops in. All right, so 18 minutes on the timer. I'll hit start, put the mic up. Um, I would say if you're done early, yeah, we should be done about this time. All right, ready?
Rubber.
Go.
Yes.
Okay. So this one, I still have maybe like 10 pages.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, I was
I
like,
must read really fast.
it's really wordy. Like I did not intend for this to be, or I didn't expect it to be this wordy. I'd say give me about 5 more minutes.
Sure.
All right. Cool. Okay.
Done.
Uh, Done. Done and done. Now I kind of breezed through some of the points, but I've already forgotten their names.
I know I have to keep going back to Taka and Aikido.
Okay. All right. So you got Taka and Aikido. So very fun ending to the chapter. Um, didn't expect that a marriage proposal. So he's like, "Hey, this is actually going really well. How about you marry me if we become if she becomes a voice actress?" That was really out there. And then she says yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but the beginning was kind of slow, but then again, it's kind of laying down the whole idea behind everything. Like, uh, the uncle, I think, was used a lot as basically as a cautionary tale.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this is what we don't want to do.
Right. I think he was a combination of motivation and also cautionary tale, because he looked up to his uncle, but as a kid didn't realize exactly what kind of situation the uncle was going through until later.
Hmm. And
And
yeah,
he
and I
just did.
didn't
He didn't want to follow that.
when he said his uncle offed himself. I was like, wait a minute, I saw in the beginning. So like he was right there with him. Then I noticed, oh, he's a lot smaller in that picture.
Yeah.
So he was in elementary. It's like, oh, that's. But then again, we've always talked about how we keep seeing these mangas go through health problems and other stuff like
And
that.
mental struggles.
Yeah. So that's yeah okay. That's some interesting
I
stuff,
think
and they.
also the uncle had a lot of regret.
Hmm.
Like there was a lot of missed opportunity, and he talks about the girl from school.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combo of a lot of things that probably hit him.
Oh yeah. Like he said that the biggest thing is he felt like there was a gap between them. Like oh, like well she's this president's secretary, and here I am, a manga creator, where I can get axed at any minute. That yeah, that's very relatable. Let's see, we got Moonbeams. How you doing, Moonbeams?
Hi, Moonbeams.
Obity's art. Yes, the art is really good. I don't know what I can show, but let's see what was my favorite one in this chapter. Oh yeah, definitely this one.
Which one? Oh yeah.
Hopefully my fingers aren't covering up everything. But yeah, it's really good. It's basically like I'm watching an anime right there. It's high level quality animation or art. But I like it so far.
Hmm.
I would say it's not high up there for me. I mean, there were some points where in the beginning where Michael was kind of trailing off, but ultimately, I think this is written well. It had a lot of setup, so I'm looking forward to. That means that ending to chapter one really hooked me right there. Like, oh, it's like that's
Yeah, and I
cool.
think introducing Aikido as the kind of like the opposite of him, who's I don't
Hmm.
care about having to go by the Japanese norms and getting the white collar job. I'm going to live my dreams, and you're going to waste your talent by becoming that. No way. I'm going to find a way to motivate you to do this.
Yes, it's like you're going to be successful at this. I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming. That's basically like he's. Everybody needs somebody like that in their life, where they're kind of pulling them to do something more.
And I also think it's interesting. He says he sits in the back of the class because he's
Observing.
watches everything, and I think he kind of realized that girl would be exactly what he needed to convince Taka to become his artist.
Oh yeah. Have either of you watched the anime? I have not. I didn't
No,
even realize they had an anime.
I didn't either.
So definitely check it out
Now I gotta
after
look it up
this.
after
Yeah.
this.
Because I always know. I mean, after Marg and I read One Piece, the first volume, I noticed that there's a substantial difference in the pacing, which made the manga so much more enjoyable than the anime for me. So I wonder if it. I'm always wondering that now between when I'm reading the manga versus watching the anime. But
Yeah, I think like the One Piece anime skipped that whole relationship and what motivates Luffy to go out there and just jumped
mhm.
right into him already going out there.
Yeah, he's out there already. He's starting off in that barrel. So all right. So are you ready to? Knock out
Two?
chapter 2.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this one should be, let's go with 8 minutes. All
Okay.
right, so ready, go. Okay, I got like 6 pages left. It's just
Okay.
when you get pages like this,
Uh huh.
I'm like, good God. Like I'm used to the one punch panels where it's just like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
But this one, damn near a novel. So all right,
We're gonna finish it tonight.
yeah, 3 minutes. Let me get that. So, I'm wow. I'm kind of like on the last few pages. So he's basically getting the his uncle's studio in this one. There's a lot happened here, and I felt like this chapter went on the longest. Is even though it's like one of the shortest. Uh,
Yeah, I like the family dynamic when he realized, oh crap, I have to tell my mom I want to be a manga artist. And he got the response he was exactly expecting from her. But then the two other people in his family, his father and the grandfather, both supported him.
and
Because the
the
grandfather, especially, who the mother thought would be on her side,
Mhm.
he makes this great comment that he says that he's come to life. Like he could tell that he hasn't been happy
Mhm.
until this moment. And I
And
thought that was great.
Mhm. The fact that you get that the father is probably like a very stern, tough, by the book kind of guy, and when she's saying that he like tears welled up in his eyes, I'm like, oh wow, that must have really hit home. I mean, it was his brother's favorite
Hmm.
thing, and he just he probably would probably want to see his brother's dream lived out in somebody else. So that
And
was
the
really
enthusiasm of Taka realizing he's getting the studio and taking off running in the middle of the night.
so. Explain those last few pages. I see that it's his grandfather, or is that his father?
It's his grandfather because the mother goes, "Go talk to the man who lost his son to manga."
Yeah.
And then when he says, "Here's your uncle's keys," she goes, "Father?"
So yeah, go for it. So
And he
so
says,
base
he goes right here, "It's good that he's being this way." He goes, he changed. I was worried that he'd end up useless. So the funny part is the part Taka was always thinking that he didn't want to become a manga artist because he thought he'd be useless. But
yeah.
the thing is, the grandfather sees it the opposite. He's not fulfilling his dream, so he's going to become useless by just being a mindless office worker.
Being a cog in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
That yeah, that actually is kind of motivating. I don't know what that is. I was reading chapter 2. I was like, I want to do something now.
I know. You're like, I can take on the world.
Yeah. So really great second chapter. Again, that the dialogue in here, it's very dialogue heavy. So and it being about manga, I don't think I'm going to see a lot of action sequences.
No, and I think when they get into finally planning their story,
Hmm.
there's going to be a lot more dialogue.
Oh man, oh, let's see. You got moonbeams.
Yes.
I love that his dad and grandfather were so supportive of his dreams. Yeah, normally you see it as the mother pushing, like, "Hey, yeah, follow your dreams and do this and do that," and the father being the one holding the kid back. And direct opposite this time. I think it's the mother sees the amount of work that they'll go through and think uh that's not going to make him happy, and then the males in the family say, hey, they understand, like, yes, I mean, you're gonna feel fulfilled. I mean, now that we know that he didn't that his uncle didn't off himself, he actually worked himself to death. I mean, that could be just that he loved what he was doing so much that yeah, there was a struggle obviously, but he could have just, I
Yeah.
don't know, I don't see you doing something like that for something that you hate, putting that much
Exactly.
effort. I mean, obviously, a lot of some of us can say that we've hated our jobs, but you're not putting forth that much effort into something you hate.
No, and I think when you get lost in the creative atmosphere, sometimes you forget about your own health and you just get all wrapped up in it.
Yeah, I can understand that. Worked two jobs at one time when I was paying off for my debts, and that didn't have time for anything else.
Yeah.
So I know what it's like to, I mean, and to work for some place that you absolutely hate. I have plenty of experience in that.
Yeah.
So, all right, so I am ready to jump into chapter 3. I'm going to set this countdown timer for 10 minutes
Okay.
because
Ready?
I don't read that fast.
I know,
Ready,
I'm a fast reader. Go.
set, go. On the dot. Like it flashed as soon as I read that last sentence. Whew. The fastest I've read right there. Let me do this for cause reaction. Um, wow,
Mm,
getting better and better. I'm really liking it. And kind of like, why did I sleep on this for so long?
right?
Because you get amped up when they both go into the uncle's place, digging out all that old manga, and everything's all neatly packed away, and they have storyboards to look at everything, and they're getting pumped. Like, hey, we need to. They start setting goals. They start talking about what they want, what they need, what needs to happen.
Right,
Uh,
and checking about what's popular, what's going to succeed,
mhm.
and it's almost kind of like Taka takes a more leadership role because of his experience with the uncle, talking about, well, you need to do a storyboard, and these are what storyboards are. And
What's that?
he's like, and then he was talking about how his uncle would write 5 stories a week or something, and he's just like,
It's like, yeah, I can write stories, but five, wow.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm definitely liking they're getting a lot of chemistry as well. I like their banter. I like two characters that kind of build off of each other. Like,
yes,
they
they
kind of push.
balance.
Yeah, so liking that.
I
Go ahead.
the father discussion on the phone.
Yeah, it's like you don't call me that often. Like, well, there's a rule. It's like I talked to mom first, but he I think after he accepted him over the mom saying no, I think that kind of made him think, let me try because this is something manga related.
And when his father cleared up everything, because your uncle wasn't the kind of man to just give up like that.
Mhm. And he starts thinking about how his uncle was always drawing, and you can clearly see he was focused. He was both feet in. He was focused, and he was motivated, and that kind of brings me back to the marriage proposal, and also both guys saying, all right, let's jump into this. Like, everybody is focused. They're both using each other to push each other forward.
Hmm.
And then I had a thought. It's like, yeah, the girl's also wanting to become a voice actress. I mean, what if one of them fails and one of them one of them succeeds?
That's a good point, because they're just getting started, and I don't think yet. Yes, there's the creative process, but then I think they're going to have to experience the business side of it.
Mhm. And looking at it being 20 volumes and so much content into one volume, I think they'll get into that.
Yeah,
I think I'll learn a lot more about manga from this because I already learned a few things so far about the industry, and silly as it is, I was like, I never even thought about doing a storyboard if I was because I've thought about, oh, what if I do a manga? Like, never even occurred
yeah,
to me.
yeah. You have to do a storyboard just to kind of lay out how the scenes are gonna play out with the action and all. I also found it interesting that was it Akita.
Yeah.
He's all in, but yet he's keeping his grades up as a backup plan.
And he has that stipulation. He goes, "You need to write something that I want to draw for.
Otaka,
Otherwise,
yeah.
yeah, otherwise we're not doing anything." So that's also motivation for him to write some good stories.
Hmm. Can't wait to
Everybody's
see
pushing
what's going to happen next.
everybody. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So 10 minutes on the clock, starting now.
You get the clock up?
Yeah, that's great timing again. Uh,
Wow. Fate.
yes, very sweet, very sweet chapter right there. Before I get into that, I love the Death Note references. Yes, so they talk
Yes.
about the investigation, like, oh, it's like for that character. Hmm. The what's her name's mother is the love interest to his uncle, and I was like, I knew something like that was gonna happen. And the fact that the mother actually, you get to hear everything. Like, we want to know, did she actually love him? And she did, and it was all of this. He didn't make the move.
Right, and he was too busy feeling that he wasn't good enough because he wasn't on that level. And then
Mhm.
they found out he made his big hit after she married, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's that her son was 3 years old, and she saw the anime, and she had to uh, get his manga, and then I guess one of those stories that she read was basically, it
She
seemed,
figured it out.
yeah, it's kind of like about her and him.
Hmm.
Guess how you felt? Yeah. Ah, really great. So how are you feeling about this one?
I
This
love
series?
it. I've always been really interested, like in the process of just creating like comics and manga, and
Hmm.
also just seeing like the enthusiasm they have.
Hmm.
But you know they're going to be in for some challenges because, like, even just that moment in the office with a it's Kita,
Yeah.
realizing like just how much he has to do on the writer's side in order to support the
Yeah.
artist.
And you got a point there. Everything's been going so great for them. There's not been in like, I don't think there's been really any conflict. So
Not
I'm
yet.
sure there will be conflict at the end of this. I bet you the last chapter of this, there's gonna be conflict. So we'll get there. But uh before I start up this next timer, anything else?
I like that the mother of the girl he likes is also very supportive.
Yeah.
Where she was just like, "Go for it," and what's his name, just like blurting it out that Taka likes it, her daughter. It,
Yes, he is.
Stop
Yeah, he's
it!
like, oh, by the way. And
No, I'm not dating, but he's going to. I'm
yes,
like, oh my gosh.
movies is correct. They haven't even started anything yet,
No,
and
and I think that might be where we're going now.
they haven't had writer's block or anything. The startup's going to be difficult. Oh shoot, I
And
had.
Taka's got to conform to that style.
Mhm. Yeah, he's got to use that ink pen. I forgot about that. Or yeah, those dip pens.
And
Don't know.
he's got to also draw in a panel type. So let's see how that goes. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah. So all right, I got 10 minutes on the clock. Ready?
Alrighty.
Go. All right. That one I fell a little behind on, so I kind of skipped over that large stream where it goes over like the qualifications.
Uh huh.
Yeah, there we go. With this one, a lot of information in this as well. You find that basically his uncle went through a lot, and he kind of set him up to actually have a head start. So
Yes.
uncle got famous really quick, but they've been giving um, uh, outlines, storyboards. They have all this stuff that they have at their disposal to have as references. They have all this reference. Rather,
Even like reference guides for backgrounds and everything, because he said he doesn't have an assistant to draw the backgrounds.
Mhm. And Moonbeam says they haven't even started. Oh, yeah.
No, now they're
Uh,
just honing their craft.
yep. And then he's what's his name?
Akita?
Wait, Ikeda is drawing, and it looks amazing to the other
Oh,
guy.
Taka.
And
Taka.
yeah, Taka's drawing, and the other guy's saying it looks amazing, but Taka's like, no, it's trash.
Because he says they're too stiff, they're not. You have to give some like action to their movements and
Hmm.
everything. And it's a good point because if you look at them, yeah, they're drawn well, but they're all kind of just like standing there. There's not like anything really happening. And then he's struggling with that pen.
Hmm.
And he finds
And,
himself falling back on the other pen his uncle always used. But then he's like, I can't use that one. I have to learn to use this one.
mhm. And I'm pretty sure he'll learn to use one of them, or get comfortable with using one of them, and that'll be great. Did you get a chance to look at the qualifications? Because I honestly kind of skipped that part.
Yes, they were going over like they were reading this one famous mangaka's ideas of what that was like superficial,
Mhm.
uh do not indulge yourself in the temporal of popularity, even if you attain some status, do not linger, never cry after being defeated, even if you follow the qualifications, never think that you're always correct. And then his uncle had his own qualifications, which were conceit, believe that you're better than others,
Uh-huh.
do your best, and finally luck.
Yes, that's
Which
probably a
is
big one.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's but the other guy's sitting there reading all the manga in the library. And then
And
he makes the odd decision to go to the same school as Taka because Taka's failing. And even though he is like at the top of the class, he's like, why would you want to do this? You said you
Mhm.
wanted a backup plan. He goes, I don't care about the backup plan. I know exactly where I'm going with this.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, it's like he knows he's gonna be an artist, so he goes to that second rate school. It's like, hey, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be in manga. So yeah, and uh, say Taka, he basically just says, I can actually, I'm not doing that great in class right now, but I'm not gonna have to do that much in a low rate school. So that way I can do more manga stuff. Solid plan
And then
right
the other
there.
one, was it Kita had this like a whole thing. He goes, you don't want to go to a top college because they're going to look at you like you're too brainy and they're not going to take you seriously.
And it's like, and he made a good point when he talked about comedians that go to these high level colleges and graduate to become comedians. It's like they're called IQ comedians. They're not even funny.
Right, because their education kind of separates them from the normal populace.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right, I think we got two more chapters.
Oh, shoot, is it two more?
Yeah,
Six,
they seem
seven,
pretty
eight.
short though.
Oh yeah. Doesn't look like much. A lot more word bubbles. Jeez. Okay. Setting up another 10 minutes. Okay. Ready?
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna need you to fill me in on the last few pages because I must be
Okay.
getting slower.
So, um, as you know, Akita came up with a plan
Hmm.
because they got inspired by that kid who won the Jump Award.
Hmm.
So Akita comes with this plan that why don't we go meet an editor, because Taka goes on about the different types of editors and the type you want and the ones he admires. And he goes, well, we don't even have anything. And he's like, well, this is what we do. We come up with a few bits of a story and like a synopsis, and you do some artwork. So they sit down in the office, and Akita comes up with two stories, and Taka is actually impressed with both of them. So they decide to go with the one called Two Earths. And so they're planning on just kind of like scripting out. He's going to script out the storyboard and the writing while Taka then will draw it all out. And they're going to just kind of walk into Jump and,
Yeah.
and
Hey,
give it to an editor.
read this.
Yeah.
Be careful, it's hot.
So
um,
it's going to be interesting in this next chapter to see if
mhm.
they go there in this or they're going to hold it for the next volume. But you have Akita is kind of like the one who's not afraid to take a chance, like to jump off that ledge and see where he goes. Where
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, and there's a very cute pass by Taka and what's her name?
It's like
And
the world
was it
went transparent.
the mother that called him out?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because
And
I
then
couldn't
her
tell if it was a
sister
sister.
was like, "You're turning red."
It's like shut up. So I think everyone's had that moment.
Yeah.
But that was a really sweet panel. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely sold on this series. So I'm probably gonna check out episode one to see if it because there's a lot that happens here. So I'm wondering if
Yes.
episode
It
one
gets
is
broken
just
up.
one volume. So
Yeah.
checking that out definitely. All right.
So we got one
Uh,
more chapter.
and how are you doing, RC Scott? All right. Start up the timer again. 10 minutes starting now. Okay, I am done.
I have a bad feeling about this, Captain.
Yeah, they amped it up. They normally do like, oh well, it's a cliffhanger, so wait for the next one. But it stopped right there. I'm like, oh, so it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a big hairy deal, and it's crazy. They're
especially
in middle
like,
school.
yeah, especially like right before that, you saw the person taking the phone calls at the company, and the guy's like, just stop taking the calls during summer.
It's like he was like, hey, basic rule of thumb is don't answer it during the summertime for don't answer outside numbers.
Yeah, he goes, every high schooler, middle schooler is going to try to break into the manga.
This
And
time it's
meanwhile,
middle
standing
school.
outside.
Oh yeah, and they actually have everything together. I'm like, I think about what I was doing during middle school. Is like, I take that back. I did try to write a novel, and I would cringe to read it now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I think
that's
I did
awesome.
poetry. That's yeah, yeah. Let's see now if they can get their foot through the front door.
Oh yeah,
I have to
what
give
was it?
Akito credit. He's got balls. He's like, let's just walk right in.
Yes, yes. Every timid person needs that friend. It's like, hey, let's go and do this.
The
I'll go
introvert
first.
needs the extrovert.
Yes. So yeah.
But this is great, especially for somebody like me coming from comic book world and knowing a lot of people who create, and we talk about the process of creating their comics, seeing like these kids learning about it and they realizing it's not going to be easy and we have to put in all this time, and when they get jealous about the one kid who got the award and realizing we need to put in more time because he makes the comment in his like acceptance award that he didn't play any video games and he just worked on this, and then Taka's like, see, and I was just playing video games up to 2 weeks ago because I need to put more time into this. So they act, like literally move into the uncle's like
Oh,
place so he can so he can they can both just focus on creating this manga.
oh yeah. It's a lot of focus in here. I don't remember having this kind of focus, but I do remember having a lot of time. So yeah.
It's
That
amazing. They know what they want and they're going for it, and you have to like admire that.
oh, and this marks 59 volumes that I've read for this month.
Nice. I'm
Because
not there, but I'm like, let's say halfway. I got through like almost 30 because I was doing like the whole, I'm catching up on my vlog.
oh yeah.
My And then I get some more manga today. I got in some Go Go Loser Rangers, and
I now have
I don't have I
I
don't
now
have
have
one
this thing.
that big, but like what I got in Blood on the Tracks. Ooh, Blood on the Tracks.
But this one's two shelves, and
Okay.
so all the I decided like, all right, everything that I used to pull the stuff out on my bookcase, like I pull it out a little. It's like that's a show that I haven't read it yet, but now I just went, you know what? Let me put this here. These are the ones that when I come in here looking for something to read, it's going to be in this shelf. So it's
It's like
similar to
I
what you
just got
have.
One Punch Man 25 today. I'm sitting here going, you know what I need to do? I need to
I
just
read
sit
that.
down one day and dedicate it to One Punch because I'm like behind. I'm like halfway. And then I haven't read it because I've been reading all this other stuff. So I'm like, I just need to
Yeah,
like
it's a
binge
really
it.
fast read, really
Yeah,
fast. Like I didn't. I was actually amazed at how fast I read it, and you can see it right there. I was actually proud that I've actually have a shelf that I've completely read everything on there,
nice.
and I've read all of this. Actually, I got a couple more things to put here because there's enough space. But so far, these two shelves are read. Most of the shelf is read. I just have a few more over here,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you. Yeah, I actually no, you saw it online on Twitter that I'm reading three at a time.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
finishing up Elden Ring, Exo Drive, and Frankenfran.
I'm really curious about both Elden Ring and the Franken one.
Frankenfran, I did not expect it. Um, I described it as somewhat of Tales from the Crypt vibes. That's
Oh
what
okay.
I was getting off of it. Um, But yeah, you can obviously tell from the cover. I was like, yeah, I'm interested in that for some reason.
Yeah,
But
I've heard different things too. Like, don't be deceived by the covers.
yeah, and
Hmm.
you can see the kind of it's
Very
kind of
Tim
dated.
Burton.
Yeah, and the art. Ah,
Okay. Hmm. Looks interesting.
it's not the greatest, but it's very consistent. It's again, Tales from the Crypt. Did you ever watch that show or watching the
Yes.
movies?
Yes.
Same thing there. You have some lessons to be learned. You have some things where even horrible things happen to good people. Those happy endings, no, there's just endings, and it's creepy. It has body dysmorphia, and
Okay. I read Junji
it's
Ito, so
oh yeah, yeah. So if you're okay with Junji Ito, this will be fine. This will be a walk in the park. Again, I have a medical background, so I'm used to seeing a lot of stuff. But there's a lot of like they actually dissect a lot. So she's constantly doing surgeries
mm,
on people. There's some little lessons there, and it's something that I've had to kind of force myself to keep going. But after the first few chapters, I was like, it's different. I'm not used to this type, but it's
hmm,
growing on me.
interesting. I have to check it out.
It's smaller than I thought it would be too. So here's Bakuman. Here's this one.
Oh, really? For an omnibus?
Yep. Oh, uh, as far as
Yeah.
thickness goes,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a thick boy, but
It's
it's
like two
small.
volumes.
I think it is, yes,
Okay.
1 and 2. Yeah. And the others
Waiting for
came
that
in.
Bright Stuff sale, and then I'll see.
Oh yeah, I mean they already gave you a 10% discount. At the next month, I'm probably gonna do my haul early, just
Mm.
because when those sales happen, they run out of stuff quick,
I know you got to be sitting there like at midnight, like.
and the sales aren't that high. From what I remember, I don't remember them being they're good, but not way better than the 10% off. So
I did pre-order though that Trigun on Amazon. By the way, people
yeah,
$9.99.
yeah, it was a few days ago. I was in the middle of the night. I saw that. I was like, I was like, wait a minute, that's
And then you
half.
dropped it today, and I'm like, today is payday, and guess what I did?
Oh, no, not half. It was like 40%, I think. But
Mhm.
yeah, I was like, that's a great price, $29.99 for a $50 volume. I'll take that.
I know that's what I did with Berserk 14. Even though I don't have all the volumes yet, I said it's a deal. I'm gonna grab it,
Oh yeah,
and I'm gonna go on to what's it call it in stock trade to see about getting some because they're like 28 on there. So I'm like,
oh yeah.
they don't have
If you can
the
find it
next one I
between
need, but
yeah Berserk volumes, if you can find it between 28 and 32, that's a decent price right there. Because everywhere else, it's going to be between 34.99 and regular price.
I know like Sideshow. That's where I used to get like all my hot toys.
Hmm.
They sent me something one day. It goes, we have the Berserk volumes. I'm like, okay, let me see what you have for the Berserk volumes. $49.99. I'm like, nope.
All
Plus shipping.
right.
No.
Plus shipping. Wow. No, thank you. Um. Oh, and I don't know if you saw this one,
I know that looked really interesting.
but did you play the game at all?
No, I have to get a console. Mine broke a while ago, and every time I think about purchasing a new one, the money ends up going somewhere else. So,
I gotcha. I would probably wait on this one because there's a
okay,
lot of nods to the game. So if you haven't
gotcha.
played the game, you can be a little lost. Like it hits harder if you played it before.
Right.
But besides that, I got nothing else on here. Man, this was a great read. I am definitely going to
It
continue
was.
this one. Probably not going to focus on it. It's gonna whenever I do threes, I'm gonna add this one. So it's basically going to be One Piece, Bakuman, and something else.
Yeah, because there is a lot of dialogue in this, but it's necessary for
Oh
it.
yeah,
So I get it.
a lot of
It
content, and
so I can't wait to see what's going to happen when they walk into that. Oh, I love One Piece.
So he
You
landed on
got
Amazon
past the
Island.
whole what's his name? Bartholomew
Yeah,
on Sabadi. Oh,
yeah.
Sabada. I can't talk. It's late at night.
So
Ooh,
almost,
that one moment. Oh, when he thought
yeah.
he lost everybody.
Mhm. I was like, I now know the meme.
I know.
So
And you can
that,
almost see like Bartholomew's face, like he feels bad for him.
oh yeah. And Law, I was like, I think I'm gonna like this character.
Oh, wait till you reunite with him later. He's been
Uh,
through stuff when you meet him again, so that's gonna be interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Law's a great character.
You see three pirate captains go out against the military. I was like, oh, this is gonna be
I
good.
love him. Room. And then Beepo, his big furry white
Oh,
second
the
command
bear.
bear.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of crazy characters. The imagination on Oda's. Yeah.
The world building, all of it is amazing. I mean, come on, this is why the guy is constantly selling out like American comics.
Hmm.
It's amazing. And Kid, I love like the whole banter between the three of them when they're standing in front of the auction house.
Yeah, yeah,
They're like,
that was great.
Luffy's the little Luffy. He's like, is that the extent of your power?
Yeah, didn't turn out good for you, did it? It's like that'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. This was a great read.
It was.
Definitely going to continue this one. For next week, I think I'm going to with the news of the anime coming. I think I'm going to start Delicious in Dungeon back over because
Oh,
I
nice.
have forgotten a lot about it, and it got to a point where it got really stale for me on volume 6, I think it was.
See, that's like me with Pluto. I have to get the last 3 volumes,
Hmm.
um, but I have to go back and reread it because it's been a while.
Oh yeah, but I saw Delicious in Dungeon has I think it has a trailer now, or at least a teaser out right now. So gonna be a great one to watch. Again, if you're into comedies, dungeon crawlers, and foodie kind of stuff, definitely a great one to watch or read.
Nice.
All right, but until next time, everybody, thank you for coming by. If you like what you saw, hit like, hit subscribe. Until then, next time. Until next time, I'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.